Hi, I'm Michael Dresser. I'm one of the UK's most unique sex and intimacy coaches for men who like men. If you want to have a better time in the bedroom, there's one fundamental thing you really need to get good at, and that's communication. It doesn't matter how many hot or sexy techniques or strokes you know how to do. Ultimately, if you can't tell the guy you're in bed with what you want or find out what he wants, you're only going to get so far before one of you is just lying there wishing it would all just hurry up and be over. The good news is that there are three really straightforward ways that you can create clearer agreements between you about what's going to happen or not, so that both of you get to have as good a time as possible. So let's jump right in and start with how you can ask for what you want. You can do this by making requests. When you notice something you want for yourself, or you have a desire bubbling up in you, it's not enough just to say you want it. If you say, "I want you to tease my nipples," that's just a statement. It's not actually asking me to do anything about it. If you want me to do something about it, you need to make a request. You need to say something like, "Will you tease my nipples?" And now I've got a choice. Is that something I'm up for or not? I might be a hell yes, or I might be only up for it for a few minutes. Or maybe there are some things that I'll never be up for, and for the record, teasing nipples isn't one of those. When you make a clear request of me, I can then let you know how I feel about it, and then both of us can be clear about what's happening. And of course, your request could be something you want me to do for you, or it could also be something you want to do to me. So your request might sound something like, "May I lick your ear?" Again, now you've made a clear request, I get to notice how I feel about what you're asking of me. And for the record, somebody licking my ear, well, that's pretty much always a no from me. So that's requests when you're asking for something that you want. What about if you want to know what the other person wants? So this is where you can make an offer. And when you make an offer, it lets the other person know that there's something you're available for, either something you're willing to do for them or access that you're willing to give to yourself in some way. And that could be super specific. Like, "I've got a couple of minutes, would you like a quick shoulder massage?" Or maybe it's a little bit more open, "Would you like a massage?" Or it could be really broad, "What would you like from me right now?" I then get to notice how I feel about what you're offering me. Again, this could look a couple of ways. Maybe you've offered something that I'm always really up for. Or maybe you've offered something I wouldn't have thought of myself, but hey, I like the sound of it. Or maybe I'm not up for it right now, but I might be later on. Your offer gives me choice. It tells me what you're potentially available for, but it doesn't assume that I'm definitely going to want what you're offering. I might say no, although for the record, I very rarely say no to a massage. So an offer lets the other person know there's something you're willing to engage in, and a request lets the other person know there's something you want from them. And there's also a third option. You can make an invitation. So an invitation is where there's something that you're interested in and you want to see if I'm interested in it too. And again, this could be pretty broad. Do you want to have sex? Or it could be extremely specific. I'd love to get naked and playful with some whipped cream. Is that something you're up for? So an invitation allows you both to negotiate to a place that's interesting to both of you. And maybe it's not sex, but it's dinner. Or maybe it's not whipped cream, but it's fruit. And I'll keep you guessing on how I feel about the whipped cream and the fruit. So between them, these three ways of communicating, using a request or an offer or an invitation, will mean that you can create really clear agreements not only about what might happen, but also who it's for. Just in case you're wondering, here are a few things which I don't recommend as helpful ways to communicate in the bedroom. Dropping hints, saying "you should," making demands, or even just making statements like "I want." A good rule of thumb is if there's a full stop at the end of the sentence, it's unlikely to create a clear agreement. Try reframing it with a question mark. This kind of clear communication is at the heart of the coaching that I offer for gay, bi and curious guys who want to get better at navigating sex and intimacy. So if you want to know more about that and how you can learn more skills and practice with me, check out my website below and like and subscribe on here to stay up to date with all my latest tips and resources.